Welcome to the Go Pitch Win podcast, the show where entrepreneurs pitch their best business ideas to our industry leaders. Each week, one will move forward towards the grand prize, $10,000. One winner. So get ready. And now, here's your host, Greg Mercer.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Go Pitch Win. I'm your host, Greg Mercer, and today I am joined by guest judge Mike Jackness. Mike's been in e-commerce since 2013 and runs 4 brands: Ice Wraps, Color It, Wild Baby, and Tactical.com. He's on track to do 8 figures in 2018 and somehow manages to find the time to blog, podcast, and document his journey at ecomcrew.com. Mike, thank you for joining us today.
Awesome, man. Definitely looking forward to doing this.
I am too. And today we're listening to the pitch from Alexi from Sleepy Stroll. Alexi, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Greg.
We are very excited to hear about you and your product. And with that being said, I'm going to turn the stage over to you.
It's time for today's business idea.
I just want to begin by saying I have great respect and appreciation to Greg personally, the Triangle Scout team, and the company that you guys have built. I've been a great a fan for a long time. In fact, about a year ago, I watched the first episode of the $1 Million Case Study, and right around the same time, we were tinkering with the product that I'm going to talk about, Sleepy Stroll. So to give a little background, as I mentioned, 18 months ago, my second son was born, and we quickly learned that our son just refused to nap in the crib. So we realized that the baby, he slept in a swing, he slept in a bouncer, and we had to rock the baby to sleep in our arms. But as soon as his head hit the crib, he would wake up and be fussy. So, one of the worst things as a parent that you can experience is this feeling of helplessness when your child is screaming from the top of his lungs and you're unable to do anything. And there's such a thing with babies that they can be too tired to fall asleep. So what do you do in those situations? Well, the best you can do is just to calm them, try to, again, rock them. And that's what my wife was doing for months, basically. She would rock the baby to sleep in her arms. The baby would fall asleep on her chest and then stay asleep. And she started to think there had to be a better way, something to do. There had to be a better way to put a baby to sleep for a nap. So she noticed that every time she went outside and put the baby in our stroller, as soon as the wheels would hit our pavers in our driveway, the baby would calm down and fall asleep. An idea was born, pretty much. She couldn't take the baby, obviously, every day on walks just due to the weather. She thought about an idea of something that might work on a wheel of a stroller. So we got together with a local company, an engineering group. It consists of stroller straps. So these are rubber bands that are connected with a bungee cord that you basically stretch out. You put it on a wheel of a stroller. And when you roll the wheel, it creates these bumps. Essentially, the feeling that just you're walking down the road, down the bouncy road. You have some bumps, and this is what it actually creates. If you want to use it, outside, inside, doesn't matter. Real quick, show you from one of our first customers, who this video is actually available on our listing on Amazon as well as on our website. This is a 5-month-old baby girl who you can see in this video, and I believe the lady is in Sacramento, California, who purchased Sleepy Stroll, and you can see fairly quickly that what the motion of those of the bounce does to a baby when you're on a walk with a stroller. And obviously, there are more videos like this on our listing as well as on our website. All of these reviews, I just put together a few interesting ones. The first one, and the only one that I'm going to read, essentially, this is a person that we tested the product with when we initially released it, lady Robin. So she said this was a miracle worker for her. Our second child has been colicky and suffers from acid reflux. This makes it very hard to calm him down. He usually naps or sleeps just from the exhaustion from crying. Within seconds, the bumps created by sleepy stroll calmed him, and within minutes puts him to sleep. Who knew something so simple could be such a game changer? Our family made fun of us when we would tell them that we pushed our son around the house in a stroller. Until we watched him for an entire day. I came home to find my son asleep in his stroller, and my mom said, man, that really works. I couldn't agree more. So, yeah, essentially, this is basically what we've experienced. And we had similar issues with our first son when he was born, problems with naps. Actually, one of the ways I had to put him to sleep, I would swing him in our car seat because, he outgrew the swing, and that was the only way, essentially, that I could put him to sleep. And I also, as Robin wished, we came up with this product earlier. We did searches for patents. There's nothing like it on the market. It's a great thing, but it's also a sort of a curse, and I'll get to it on the next slide. It's simple to use. Obviously, it's just a very simple product that you can install on a wheel of a stroller. You will install it on your back wheels generally. So there are 3 different sizes, and there's a video on our website on how to use it. And it can be used anywhere a stroller can be used. We had a customer recently email us. She's in the UK, and she said that she uses our product on her stroller when she goes shopping because her son basically freaks out. The floors are so flat that, when she rolls them, her child just, is in stress, crying. Uninterrupted naps is a big one. Again, we've used it at our house. We would put our son to sleep in the night, and if the baby would, waking up too early from a nap, they'll be cranky, obviously. And it's very simple. Like if the baby's in the crib, then what do? You have to pick him up. You have to go through the whole routine again, and it's truly a mess. But here you can just roll the stroller a little bit, for a few minutes, and he goes back to sleep for a full nap. The baby is refreshed. Nothing better to see a smile on a baby when they wake up and they recognize you, and it's just warms my heart. Naps in fresh air. Another point here that will, any pediatrician will tell you that's wonderful for children. And affordability. We're trying to keep the product affordable for, as many people as possible. Newborns that take full naps, they're happier newborns, less stress on parents. Having a child is a life-changing experience. It can cause a lot of stress. It can cause a lot of anxiety, even to a point that, some people become depressed. We're after eliminating or alleviating a little bit of those stressful situations that families experience. So we're after, happier families, essentially. Currently, our biggest challenge is market exposure and product recognition. So I feel like Greg and Jungle Scout team, you guys have immense experience with building products that haven't existed before. You guys build it to help you run your own businesses. You have a lot of experience and exposure. All the right people that we feel like if we could partner with you guys, maybe have somebody serve on our board, then we could create a killer marketing strategy with a budget and absolute transparency and accountability for every dollar spent, that we could maximize the ROI, to let as many people know about this product, because I guarantee there is, a caregiver at this moment in time right now, somewhere in the United States, that could use this product and would love to spend $14 on it to help them with the baby to fall asleep, but they just don't know about it. They never heard of it. This is a brand new concept, and it's really hard to kind of break into the market with something that is this new. I invite you to visit sleepystroll.com, our website, to learn more about the product, and visit our listing on Amazon so that you could read a little bit or maybe see some reviews or even order the product. With that, I thank you very much for the opportunity. Only a year ago, I was watching Greg on YouTube, and I get to pitch my product here. It's awesome.
So how many of these things have you sold so far?
Less than 200.
Where are you getting them manufactured?
In China. Sourcing in the US was the first thing that we tried, and we quickly learned that manufacturing just the prototype would have cost us like 37 times more than what it would have cost us in China.
So you had this vision. You found a local engineering firm to help you bring this vision into drawings, and then you brought these you sourced a factory in China that could turn these drawings into a prototype. Is that right?
Pretty much. So the biggest thing was the straps that you could see, right? Those rubber straps that have our logo. They're connected with a bungee cord. So that was first thing that we were after, is to find a manufacturer of rubber products that could create the mold for us and produce the right thickness, the right durability, because you don't want it to wear out. You want the product because obviously it's going to be hitting the pavement and so forth. So that was and us putting together the actual frame, working at home, trying different things, trying to measuring all sorts of different strollers, seeing what kind of the diameter of the wheels. Because our initial goal was to come up with a unified product that you could just fit on any stroller, and we kind of soon realized that even though you can get elasticity of different bungee cords, really to stretch, you could not still produce something that would fit like an 8-inch and then a 15-inch. So we had to actually go with the 3-size approach. But that seems to kind of cover, I would say, 95% of all the strollers produced.
So what was your background before you got involved in creating this product?
My background is actually in data science. So I have computer information systems degree and an MBA. But I think it was really my wife that was interested in. She learned about Amazon FBA, and she was talking to me and said, "Hey, this is really an interesting opportunity these days." And us, living in the information age, with such breadth of information available on YouTube, it's just one thing led to another.
How much money have you invested in this so far?
We've invested a little bit shy of $6,000.
Okay, so that's not too bad. I was actually expecting more. And what are your unit costs?
It really will depend on how much you ship, right, with the volume. But just with like the first batch, I would say it's about $5. Bringing it, basically having it at Amazon warehouse.
Okay, and you're currently selling for $14 on Amazon?
Yeah.
Mike, I have about 100 more questions, but I'll let you sneak in a few.
I guess the first thing I'm just thinking of and wondering, you mentioned it already, it's hard to break into a market. That's a similar thing that we talked about with the last contestant. It's interesting here because there are people already searching for baby sleep aids. So you have the searches out there already, but this might be hard to communicate exactly what it does. So what's your marketing strategy been to this point, and how do you plan on overcoming that hurdle?
So we learned early on that, establishing a brand can get you additional capabilities when you're listing things on Amazon, such as, a video that you could put there for customers to see what the product actually does. That was one of the steps that we've taken. We filed for, aside from the patent we filed for the product, we also filed for a brand for trademark, essentially. Mm-hmm. This is something that we're really looking forward to once once we have the green light from USPTO, then we'll be able to get our list and our account adjusted with Amazon and put a video of maybe even the video that you guys just saw as the primary video of how the product works. Maybe add like an installation instructions or something like that.
Are you aware of any issues that you might have with like claims? Like I don't know. I know this is an issue with like in the healthcare space, but could you potentially get in any trouble or have any issues saying basically like, this product will make your baby fall asleep? Are there any issues with that you're aware of?
We were trying to, foresee any of the claims that could make. Obviously when we were researching in the very early stages, this product, we saw on a forum, for example, a young mother who was concerned about taking her child, on a walk, and the road was bumpy, and she was afraid that maybe something could have happened with the baby. And it was interesting to see on that forum when you were scrolling down that there was another mother of like 3 children. She said, "Oh, don't worry about it. This is absolutely fine. I noticed this trick with my children, and what I was doing, I actually brought some coat hangers at home, and I would bring the stroller and I would just roll it over the coat hangers to produce the bouncy motion so that my child would fall asleep." And obviously consulting with physician is no brainer, but we do have on our packaging, don't overuse it. Yeah, we've used it with our son. I do not see any potential issues per se for claims like, hey, this is absolutely going to work, because we're not going to claim it. Every child is different. And we know from our own research, when we had people try out the product, there were, we had like a 89% success rate, but there was still 11% for moms that it didn't work. So there's certainly that, and we're not going to have a claim that this is a 100% guarantee something that will work.
The 89% rate, the success rate that you came up with there, is that something that was done like professionally, or was that just kind of a test that you ran on your own?
Any research studies that really expensive. So this was just kind of going through white papers of best practices, how you can recruit some random people to try a product and just see what the results will come out.
I saw on the box that it was patent pending. We didn't really talk about the patent, I don't think, yet. Can you talk a little bit about the patent that you got and what that covers, and if it applies to any place else besides the United States?
It doesn't apply anywhere besides the United States, and it's a provisional patent at this point. Yeah, we're just waiting for the product to take off and figure out, what the next steps would be with like an intellectual property attorney. So that's just another thing that is just down the road that we'll probably address. But the patents are really expensive to maintain. So those decisions do not come lightly.
I'm going to ask one more question before I toss about to Greg. I don't want to take up all the airtime here, but I was just curious on your COGS. You mentioned they were $5. I mean, what do you, and that's probably, you mentioned already, it's more of a trial order. What do you think your COGS would be if you were ordering this at scale?
I would like to bring it down to $3.
Did you say you did a Kickstarter for this project?
Yes. And I know in your recent communications, that's something that you mentioned. This is a brilliant way of taking a product to the market. You build the following right away. So we didn't meet our goal. We weren't, we were partially successful, but this was a wonderful experience again. And I would say it was more about the experience than the funds that we were looking forward to.
What was your goal, and like what did you end up doing with the Kickstarter?
Our goal was like 2,000 or 1,500, and we raised like maybe 500 or so. But again, this is a small niche for parents with children that have high needs, something that we learned about our own product fairly quickly. just, by having a campaign.
You have two sales channels right now, Amazon and then your own e-com site. Is that correct?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what would you say the percentage makeup of is sales from one to the other? Is it 50-50 or 90% of your sales on Amazon, or?
You nailed it. Second, 90% on Amazon.
Okay. And is that mostly through PPC spend on Amazon, or is that all organic, or?
Yeah, pretty much organic. We felt that PPC at the moment wouldn't be as profitable without like the video that explains how to use the product. So we did a little bit of PPC. It was somewhat disappointing. I think the marketing dollars spent elsewhere, and Michael can probably chime in on this, being in affiliate marketing. I'm pretty sure there are other things that you can do besides PPC to kind of jumpstart this.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was my next question. So, but it sounds like the answer is no. But I was going to ask if you've done any type of influencer marketing or anything like that to try to get the word out to like a mommy blogger or mommy YouTube channel type places to promote the product.
I have not. No, did not get to it yet.
And one of the things that Greg mentioned, I just wanted to add to this, ask a follow-up question here on PPC. It wasn't definitive. Have you tried any PPC at all on Amazon, or just?
We've spent about $100.
Okay.
With really like just a handful of sales. So it just felt like this was a throwaway, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, if this was, a product that converted somewhat, you could invest enough money for maybe running a campaign for 30 days, get your sales up and, get better ranking. But just didn't feel that we were at the right, that this is the right time yet for it.
I mean, we're not quite at the suggestion stage of this yet, but I'm going to throw it out anyway, just real quick. I mean, I think if I was to wrap up the issue here, I think it's really in the imagery and the message. It's like the main image is a cartoon, and the imagery doesn't really explain what the product is. So I think that you could see dramatically different results with some infographics, and I realize that obviously having a video there would help significantly, but just getting added to brand registry is not going to get you the ability necessarily to add a video up there. It'll be more further down in the listing. So I think that it's a challenge of getting better photography and infographics up there. And I guess if I was the format in a question, have you tried any other types of photography or infographics on the listing to see if it produces different results?
Just a variation of the same picture, basically. But it was
okay.
A cartoon, essentially. Yeah. We kind of, again, we felt like, it is difficult to explain what the product does in a picture.
Yeah.
This seemed like a way to explain it best. But thank you for your feedback. We absolutely will investigate.
Alexei, what do you think it would take to get this product to start selling, say, $1,000 a month or 1,000 units per month? Kind of like all sales channels considered.
To sell $1,000 worth of this product could be as simple as a vlogger, right? Like a mom. Like there's a ton of people on YouTube that record. They just got married, they're pregnant, they have a baby, like all those. Literally, like all the steps in their lives, and if one of those vloggers had, I don't know, 1 million subscribers, and they posted, "Hey, our baby is fussy, and we don't know what to do, and we just learned of this product and tried to use it, and oh my gosh, this is a killer," then I think that would go a long way.
How much time per week or month do you, or it sounds like your wife's helping you as well, how much time do you guys devote to this project right now?
A week, maybe a couple hours. But again, this was a totally different situation last year.
I'm excited for the suggestions thing. I don't really have a whole lot of other questions. I think it's an amazing product that is kind of gotten down to like the 5-yard line and kind of puttered out and just needs to be pushed over the finish line.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the suggestions then, Mike. Go ahead. Give them to them.
Yeah. So in rapid fire here, I mean, I've already mentioned the better photography. I mean, I think that's going to be really key for your listing photography and more like infographic type styles. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot of other listings on there that do this. Technically your main photo isn't compliant with terms of service, so they could yank this at any time. You definitely need a better way of communicating what the product does. I think that you're putting a little bit too much weight into brand registry, like kind of being the magic pill moving forward. In my opinion, that isn't going to do much for you at that point. I would kind of put that aside. It's an important component. Like, please don't get me wrong. Like, you definitely want to have your products in brand registry, but I think that you're putting just a little bit too much weight into it. You mentioned like focusing on some new products already. I mean, in my opinion, I would focus on this one and kind of finish the marketing part for this before moving on to anything else. And the key to me, you've already kind of hit on it, is really these like influencers or other people, things that could make it go viral. What you really need is like one person, even just a mommy blogger type on YouTube, a mommy vlogger. And you can find these people through something like FameBit, that you can find people that'll do these videos for you and advertise the thing on YouTube for you. But one mom like talking about her struggles of being able to put her kid to sleep and all of a sudden it's fixed, like will produce tons of sales for you, to the point where your biggest problem will become keeping this thing in stock rather than how are you going to sell it. I think that can happen relatively quickly. And I can associate with this, I'm not a parent myself, but in our office here, one of the people here is a mom, and we have a baby brand ourselves. And we were joking yesterday about something called sleep regression, which it sounds like your child went through. It's very difficult when you have this problem. And if this is one of these like magic pills that truly can fix this issue, it's just a matter of really communicating the message. You've already got a great idea, a great product, a patent to protect yourself, etc. Now it's just a matter of getting the word out and like really perfecting that. And I think that if you put like an equal amount of effort into that stage of the project as you had to get to this point, I think you'll find a lot of success.
I think that Mike hit the nail on the head there. It sounds to me like you probably enjoy more of like the invention stage or like creating the product stage, because I can tell you've done a really nice job with it. But I echo with what he says about I'd probably hold off launching any other products right now and do a little bit more of like what to use probably like the grunt work of getting people to purchase this particular product. Because my gut feeling is that you can do really well with this product, and it's cool that you have a provisional patent on it because that gives you some defensibility with it. At this point, it's just getting other people to purchase it, which, there's probably a lot of opportunity on Amazon. As Mike said too, the influencer marketing, I can see this product doing really well in that particular area. Cool. We got two more questions for you, two final questions to wrap it up. The first one is, any final thoughts on why you should be selected to win the $10,000 prize?
All we're missing at this point is marketing, just making sure that, as many people can hear about it, so that it has the impact that it has, the potential that it has of alleviating stress from families is huge. So I think the money spent would be maximized as far as ROI with, if we could partner with Jungle Scout, and this would go a really long way to get exposure for the product.
And if anyone's listening to this and their child has sleeping problems and they want to purchase the Sleepy Stroll, where's the best place for them to do so?
I would say Amazon.
So search for Sleepy Stroll on Amazon and you should be able to find it. Alexi, thank you very much for coming on this. It's been a blast listening to you pitch your product. I really love the idea and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Alexi. It was awesome, man. Congratulations and best of luck with everything.
Appreciate it. You too, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Go Pitch Win podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear the next great business idea, then make sure to subscribe and join us in the next episode.